This is day 1 of trying to make a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. First, I made the model for my first animatronic Ollie the rabbit. He looked a little weird, so I added some shading and adjusted his arms. This is all I did for day 1. So, this is day 2 of trying to make a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. Today I made the second animatronic called Chuck the Rooster. I started by making his beak and his head. After changing up colors and finishing all the details, this is how he looks like. This is everything for today, so this is day 3 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. Today I made the third animatronic called Ham the Pig. First I started with modeling his head and nose. I then changed his ears and eyes, and after some shading, this is how he looks like. That is everything I did on day 3. So,
this is day 4 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. Today I started with the scripts and coding. I made the warning screen and a demo version of the main menu that will have sign changes later. I named the game Barnyard Bonanza to match the farm theme. This is everything for today since I didn't have much time. So, this is day 5 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. I renamed the game to Midnight Barn since it sounds better. Today I started working on the main menu and added the animatronic. I made it so that his eyes follow your cursor, which took way longer than expected. I also want to thank you all for your support since it motivates me to keep going. This is all for today, so
Day 6 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. Today I made the code for the main menu and shaded the animatronic. This is how it currently looks like. This is everything for today. Subscribe to join the journey. Day 7 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. Today I started designing the office and decided that both Ollie and Ham will be stopped by the door. However, since Chuck is strong, you will have to both close the door and shock him. I have another animatronic with a different mechanic that I will reveal later. This is all for today, and subscribe to join the journey. Day 8 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. Today I made a prototype for the office and desk, added some scripts and a parallel effect. I also made Ollie twitch in the main menu. This is everything for today. Subscribe or Chuck will have a talk with you. Day 9 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. First I added some details and some papers. Then I made the shadows for the desk and office. I also made some posters including Chuck and Ham. This is everything for today, and subscribe to follow the journey. Day 10 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. First, I started modeling this Ollie plushie and a coffee cup. Then I added this poster to the office and also made this laptop. Then this arrow that will take you to the back of the office, and this is all for today. Subscribe to follow the journey. Day 11 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. I started making the buttons and also the ability to close doors. The button underneath is the shock button. The camera system will be accessible through the laptop on your desk. At last I added the room behind the office. This is everything I did. Subscribe to follow along. Day 12 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. Today I made the door work and also made it look better. Next I made it so that if you hover over the laptop and click it, you can access the camera system. I also made this map layout that I will probably change later. Tomorrow I will add more, and subscribe to follow the journey. Day 13 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. Today I changed the turn off camera button and started making the cameras. First I did the main stage and also started working on the dining area. This is all for today, and subscribe for more. Day 14 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. Today I finished the stage and dining area. Then I started making the restroom camera and a parts and service room. I will reveal that the fourth animatronic will be a dog. So, Day 15 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I started modeling the fourth animatronic that I decided to name Doug the dog. I also want to thank you all for 500 subscribers. I withered him and this is how he is looking like. I also started making the kitchen camera, so this is Day 16 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. First I finished the kitchen and also made the storage. Next I added all the buttons and the ability to switch cameras. I also have to announce that unfortunately, I will work a little less on the game and next videos because I need to focus on school. So this is Day 17 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today, I finished the buttons and made them look better. I also added this live icon and static to the cameras. At last I made this screen that shows you what nights you're in. So this is Day 18 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I only added this code button that will be useful later, camera gliding from left to right, and made the continue button work. I also made this timer on the nights tomorrow, and sorry to say that I won't post a video, but it'll get back on track on Friday. So this is not Day 19 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, because I took a rest day and brainstormed. I also made some insane plays in Clash Royale, so this is Day 20 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I made the timer work and also made this Victory 6 AM screen. Then I made the first position of Ollie, which is on the stage. I also started coding the AI for Ollie, which if you want me to explain in a video then leave a comment. So this is Day 21 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I finished the animatronic AI and added this static to when an animatronic moves. I also fixed a bug and made the next positions for Ollie and he can now appear in front of you. If we get 500 likes I will make a tutorial for the AI. So this is Day 22 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I fixed some more bugs that I found. I also added Ollie to appear in front of the office. If you close the door he leaves, however if you don't you lose. I also started making the jump scare. Tomorrow I will post a tutorial. So this is
Day 23 of making my own Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I started working on the jump scare more and also started making Chuck's and Ham's AI. Then I decided what night each animatronic will appear in and also started deciding what their role will be. So this is Day 24 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I finished the code for Chuck's AI and also made him appear on cameras. I will reveal that in order to counter Chuck, you'll have to look at the cameras. Tomorrow I will not post a video because I want to focus on the game more. So this is Day 25 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I started modeling the generators that will appear on some cameras. I will reveal that the generators will be very important to Chuck's mechanic. You can try and guess what Chuck will do, and if you are correct, then I will give you a shout out in the next video. So, Day 26 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I started further coding Chuck's AI, and yesterday I said this. You can try and guess what Chuck will do, and if you are correct, then I will give you a shout out in the next video. So, congratulations, because you were correct. So this is Day 27 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I started modeling the camera positions for Chuck in the kitchen and the restrooms. Chuck will work fairly simple. You will spot him on the cameras next to a generator, and you will have to scare him off. But I still haven't decided on how you will do that, so drop your suggestions down in the comment section. So this is Day 28 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I finally finished Chuck's AI and also made this audio button that will scare him away. This means that we kind of completed night 1, and tomorrow we can focus on making this door repair generator and the Ham's AI. If you guess what Ham will do correctly, I will give you a shout out. So this is Day 29 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, but on Scratch. Today I started coding Ham's AI, and yesterday none of you actually got it right, so let me reveal it. Ham will show up to your door just like Ollie, but when you hear banging, you will need to use the shock button. So this is Day 30 of making a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game but on Scratch. Today I was coding Ham's AI and also started coding the shock button. And while I am doing that, you go smash that subscribe button. Then I started doing some bug fixing and also decided what Doug will do. If you guessed that right, you will get a shout out. And don't worry, there's a hint in the comments. So this is